Hey everyone, it's Jessie, and today I'm bringing something a little bit different. I'm bringing some previous episodes like the plantain porridge and the plantain pudding, as well as a little do-it-yourself in the middle for something a little extra. Stay tuned. Today I'm making some scrumptious plantain porridge. Let's get cooking. So in my hot pot, I put in my oil. And then I put in my chopped onions. And I saute this for a few seconds to let all the onion juices seep into the oil. Now I'm going to add my onion puree. Just a little bit. I also add my pepper mix. So this is my pepper, my tatashe, my rodo, my normal pepper mix. And I add my tomato puree, so it's blended and it's been heated on the fire for just a little bit until a little bit of the water has come down. Now we put this in, and now it is time to add some of my spices. So I have 2 stock cubes, a little pinch of salt since there's already salt in stock cubes, some thyme, and some curry powder. And I'm going to let this fry and simmer until most of the water has gone out of it and the water content has reduced. Okay, so the water content has reduced just a little bit, and now it is time to add my crayfish, just a little bit more, just for that flavor. Stir, and now I add in my smoked fish, which I've already washed and deboned, and this just gives it a bit of protein and makes it just as delicious. I'm going to stir this in and let it fry with the tomato or pepper mixture for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. My sauce is frying, and now it's time to add my protein, some beef that I have. It's just for some protein, and it also helps, the stock also helps give it some extra flavor. So I mix this in, and now it's time to add my water. Just about a cup will do, even less. Just enough to cook the plantain. So I'm going to put this in, cover the pot, and leave it to boil. So this is bubbling and boiling away, and it looks and smells delicious. This smells like sauce and fish and meat, and it's also heavenly. So now it's time to put in my ripe and unripe plantain. I like mixing in the two. So into the pot it goes. Oof. Watch out for that splatter. Move in. And then just stir it a little bit. Close the pot. I will leave it for 10 minutes on medium-low for the plantain to cook. Wow, this plantain porridge looks divine. Just look at all that sauce and beautiful plantain. We're going to be adding my little touch scent leaf. So I'll sprinkle that all over the top. And since it's a vegetable, it won't take long at all to cook. Just a minute or so in the heat and it will be done. So I have to stir that in. stir, stir, stir. And after a minute, this plantain porridge is done and dusted, and it will be ready for tasting. OMG, this tastes so divine. The plantain is so sweet, so tender, and the sauce so rich from all the scent leaf, the mintiness of the scent leaf, the delicious fish. This is absolutely amazing. Okay guys, that was the plantain porridge video, and I'm sure you guys loved it. Try it at home, tell us, give us some feedback in the comment section and on my social media handles. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to click the notification button. And please, in the comments, tell me how you can make your own and make your own different, okay? Now it's time for the do-it-yourself segment. And I have something quite interesting here. I have a few fruits. And today, with these fruits, I am making some fruit popsicles, guys. This is an amazing snack. It's really healthy. And if you are a bit of a sweet tooth like me and you want something nice and organic and original, you guys can try out my recipe. So, what's the actual first step? Get yourself a popsicle mold. So, these are really inexpensive. You ask your mom, your dad, or you can buy it yourself if you're of age. And these are really handy to have around. If you have some leftover fruit, you don't really know what to do with it, all you can do is follow this recipe and you have an easy, safe, and foolproof way to use all that fruit and to get those extra vitamins in. So, what fruit am I using today? Today I'm using pineapple and watermelon, and as a little sweetener, I like adding some condensed milk just to give it a little bit of sweetness. Okay, let's get cooking. Okay, let's start with the pineapple. This beautiful pineapple is rich in vitamin C and has other vitamins like vitamin B. It's amazing. It's good for your skin, your hair, your teeth, and it has manganese, which means it's good for your bones. These are superfoods, and this recipe is an amazing way to inculcate fruits into your diet. Ask my mom whenever we get feisty and we don't want any fruits. She just makes this and we're instantly happy. So that's a little secret for you guys. Anyway, now it's time for preparation. Remember, clean hands, and I take my big wheel of watermelon. So I'm gonna cut this to make it a bit more manageable. Let me take this to the side, and we have our beautiful watermelon, and you can see this beautiful red flesh as well as some seeds. So my priority is to get this green rind off and then to get the seeds out. Ooh, it's nice. Be careful with your knife, kids and adults alike. Ooh, that was quick. Okay, so seeds and rind go in here, and then beautiful juicy fruit goes in here. So quickly, just get as many of the seeds out as possible. So I think I need to cut this out, open a bit more, just to reveal all the seeds that are inside. So this is quite a labor of love, trying to get every single seed out, and I tell you, it's worth it for this recipe. Besides, no one likes munching on watermelon seeds, as far as I know. So just make sure there aren't, and there are more. Guys, we'll be here for a while. Anyway, background story for this fruit. How did we get this idea? Well, we had a few fruits left over and my mom didn't have a clue what to do with them, and then my sister was begging for like some popsicles she saw in the supermarket, and then it claimed for both me and my mom to try making fruit popsicles, and we had some condensed milk on hand from making other stuff. And so we just merged it together and it became one of the household must-haves in our family. So that's how this came about for some people that like backstory. And guys, do you mind telling me if there's any quicker, less labor intensive way you remove the seeds from your watermelon? Because this would definitely take a while. And I'm glad to hear from you and learn from you guys. So I teach you, you teach me. Okay guys, so I finally finished with half of the watermelon and decided that that was enough for the recipe. And now it's time for my beautiful pineapple. Okay, so to peel this, I'm just gonna quick cut this in half. And the sweet smell, I've always liked the smell of pineapple. The sweet smell always gets to me. So now I'm just gonna cut the sides. Okay guys, so I have to mention some people like removing the eyes of the pineapple, but if you don't have the patience to, it's fine. You can just leave it and blend it as it is. But I feel sometimes that it's a bit labor intensive, so I just tend to peel off the skin and I'm fine with that. Okay. So that's one down, the rest of it to go. I'm gonna scoop, I'm gonna scoop my waste to this side and then cut my pineapple into little chunks. That'll be okay for my blender to blend. Okay, into the bowl. I'm going to do a little bit more of this one. This one's gonna be a bit of a challenge, but there's nothing Jessica can't take on. So like I said, guys, be careful with your knife. We don't want you injuring yourself. Now I'm just cutting the top off. Okay guys, so I would like to show you the stalk in the middle, and this part is quite hard, and so I tend to just cut around it, but some people actually like it, I've heard, so you do you. Okay, so before I mother this poor pineapple anymore, I'm just gonna cut it into chunks. Okay, I think that's enough pineapple to last, to give us a bunch of popsicles. And so now I have my fruits chopped. It's time for blending. And now it's time for the blending. So I'm taking my pineapple and a little bit of water over here. The pineapples might have a little bit of resistance when it comes to blending, but a bit of water should do the trick. And I have my beautiful condensed milk. So condensed milk is milk and sugar that's been simmered down over a period of time, and it makes this gooey, delicious creation. So going over to my blender. I have my clean blender over here. Attach it to the outlet socket, and now it's time to put in my fruits. So bringing this down so I can manage it. So in goes my pineapple, as well as a little splash of water, not too much, and a tablespoon or two, depending on how sweet you like it, of condensed milk. Remember, pineapple already has some sweetness to it, so unless you're an extra sweet tooth, don't overdo it. And some people also like putting in some ginger for a bit of zing, and I find that flavor quite interesting. So if that's what you prefer, do it. Just do it. Okay, so I'm going to blend this until it's very smooth, and then I'm pouring it back into a bowl. Okay, I think I need to give this a little shake. There we go. Okay, so let me look in. Yup, that looks and smells amazing, and that looks quite smooth. So back into a bowl, and now we have our pineapple puree. And now I'm not going to put any water because watermelon, like I said earlier, is 91% water, which means that it has enough water to blend itself. So I think that should be enough, as well as my tablespoon and a half of condensed milk. There. And now close up top and blend until smooth, and then we get to the most exciting part. Give that a shake. Okay, that's nice and liquidy. You'll notice that your pineapple is much likely less liquid than your watermelon because of all that water content. And this amazing pink is just what we need. Okay, so I'm dropping this bad boy into my sink for washing up, and then we're coming back to the popsicle making. Okay guys, so we have our beautiful pink blended watermelon and condensed milk, as well as our blended pineapple and condensed milk, and all that's left is the popsicle making, aka putting it into the little popsicle molds. So I have this cute little contraption here. So all we need to do is keep it, spoon it into these little popsicle molds. So these can fill quite a few of these. So reduce or increase the amount of pineapple to how many molds you have. So I think I'll do 2 watermelon, 2 pineapple. So fill my little measuring cup and be quite careful so that you don't spill anything on the outside. It's not really going to affect anything except the neatness. So, and I must also add, do not overfill it, or else when this comes in, it will pop off, so everything will come out. So that's one done. 3 more to go. You know what? Let me do it here. So this is like the fun part of it, because now you can switch it up. You can do half pineapple, half watermelon. You can do full watermelon and full pineapple. You can do whatever you want. This is basically the creative segment. And don't forget, you can use any kind of fruit you want. So It's basically customize, add and remove whatever you want. Filling the last one quickly. Just a little bit more. It's not full. Okay. Now, I'll know how this works. Put this in. Okay guys, so fill these up and I'm going to put it over in the fridge for 9 to 8 hours or just simply overnight, and that will do the trick guys. So okay guys, so this is how it came out, and as you can see they look absolutely amazing. I'm going to give this a little taste. The natural flavors from this watermelon popsicle along with a little bit of condensed milk make this an amazing snack. You guys should definitely try it out. And now it's time for the next video. Stay tuned to watch the plantain pudding. Today I will be making something traditionally from the Midwestern Nigeria, and it's called ukpo ogede or plantain pudding. Let's do this. So here I have some plantain flour, about a cup, so I'll measure about 2 cups of this. Okay, this is 1, and this is 2. But since I want it to be a bit sweeter, I'll just, add it all, because I love plantain pudding. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in. Now I'm going to take my oil. So you'll be needing a lot of palm oil when you're making this. It's the oil that, like I said, mixes everything, and you have to add enough oil to make the plantain pudding vibrant and delicious. So I'm going to turn this. So you have enough oil in the bowl when you're planting. The batter or mixture pulls away from the sides of the bowl. So I'm going to start turning this out. So try to make an inward-outward motion, kind of like this. Outward, inward. Outward, inward. It's going to take a great deal of arm strength. So another opportunity to work out without going to the gym. Look at that. That vibrant orange. I can't wait to taste this. Look at that. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding my seasonings and the things that make this pudding interesting. Here I have my blended onion. I blended it so it will mix well with the plantain pudding. Here I have my blended pepper mix for spice. So I like to mention, be very generous with your ingredients. It just makes this pudding taste better. The more love and care you give to this pudding, the better it tastes. So now again with the mixing. Now I'm going to add my crayfish, my blended crayfish. And I'm going to mix until you can't separate the things. You can't see the blended pepper and you can't, distinguish the onion. So just gonna mix. Did I mention this needs a lot of arm strength? Later. Oops. So if you notice yours is a bit dense and you need to add water, you have to add warm water. It just makes, it's just the protocol when you have to add water, so just so you know. I'll add 1 stock cube and some salt to taste. Just a bit. A ton One last turn. And now comes the interesting part. When you wrap the pudding in the leaves. Okay guys, so I have my leaves here. And here's the interesting part. I'm going to be using these leaves to wrap and make a space for this beautiful pudding. So I'm using these leaves. They're biodegradable. They're found everywhere in the places that we make this dish traditionally. But if you're not able to get your hands on these leaves, or if you don't know how to wrap them, you can easily use a plastic cup if it will save you the trouble. But I'm going traditional, eco-friendly and biodegradable. Take the pouch, and now I'm taking the leaf pockets with my pudding mixture. Okay, so for a bit of crunch, I'm putting my dried prawn. Put that in. And now I'm going to put it over here in my pot with my stems because I want it elevated, and some water. I don't want the pudding wrap in the water because it's not the water that cooks it, it's the heat, the steam that cooks the pudding. So I'm going to do a few more, put it in and start boiling on high heat for about 45 minutes. Okay guys, so I'm thinking my plantain pudding is done and I'm going to switch it off and we're going to go ahead and start taste testing. Okay guys, the finished product, and I'm going in. Look at that. That beautiful amberish. Okay, I'm going to taste. This is so good, guys. You can taste the pepper, but it's still sweet from the ripe plantains. This is a traditional meal that won't get old, guys. You guys have to try this. Don't forget to click that little subscribe button down below. Tune in same time next week. Until then, Jess out.